them all, I guess.
So you got good bread, except you got a really crappy sandwich. You got a turd sandwich right in the middle there.
You totally do. It's a little bit embarrassing. You're like, how did these guys end up in the first round in the
Especially
NFL?
the Richardson Khalil Blackman parlay.
Yeah, that one was rough. That one's a little. Those are embarrassments to each of those franchises.
No. The best part is that the Vikings were originally at 3, and Cleveland traded up to get Trent Richardson. They flipped-flopped the 3 and 4 pick.
And taking a running back in the first round, I mean, you just better be sure he's going to be something. And Trent Richardson has no. What's his average yards per carry now? Like 0.8? I'm just making that up.
Oh, I do think it's funny that the Colts have 2 of the top 3 picks from that draft.
Yeah.
Interesting. Since the Browns checked out of that really quick. Also, really quick, before we get to our first break, speaking of running backs in the first round, Todd Gurley could have been, probably should have been one of them, except Saturday, tore an ACL against Auburn. This after coming back from serving a 4-game suspension from the NCAA for those autographs. Oh, how dare you profit off your own image. And this is really weird because I feel like there was a very large contingent who thought that Gurley should just give the middle finger to the NCAA and frankly to Georgia, who sold him out, very similar to how they sold out A.J. Green his last year at Georgia for selling his jersey. And he comes back and tears the ACL this late in the season, might not even be ready for the start of next season. And how is this going to affect his draft stock? This is going to be bad for him.
These guys, I mean, I think they get on. We've talked about it and we've hammered it to death. But these college guys, if they are lucky enough to make it out healthy, then good for them. But they take a lot of risks to get to where they're going for the chance at getting rewarded handsomely down the road. When they're in college, I mean, yeah, okay, things might happen under the table, but legitimately they can't be rewarded for the extra spotlight they give their university or the extra money they bring into the university. They don't get anything legitimate out of it. And then you see this potentially career-affecting injury happening to someone like Todd Gurley, who's amazing. He was in the Heisman conversation before, of course, the suspension. It's unfortunate. If he's not healthy going into the draft, maybe someone takes a chance on him like they did Marcus Lattimore for the 49ers, but maybe they don't.
And speaking of which, Marcus Lattimore just retired from the NFL because of that ACL injury he had at South Carolina, and which is unfortunate for him. I think he gets his full insurance payout, though, which is kind of nice. And also, I think I remember seeing that Gurley had an insurance policy paid for by Georgia. So I guess that's kind of nice. Now, there is some jibber-jabber that he might come back for a senior season in Georgia. That's not happening, right?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm a college player,
especially a running back,
I'm out the first chance I get. Because, I used to be such a big advocate, but you want to stay and get your degree because you'll never go back and, whatever. You know what? You got this one chance in your life. Do you really want to risk losing that opportunity to totally take care of your family and have a prosperous future for them? I probably wouldn't. If you just look at it in dollars and cents, nope, I'm out of there.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of out of there, we are out of here as well as as we go into the first break.
Goes the dynamite.
All right, that sound drop did not land, but whatever. We'll be Claire-vs-Carlson Show, BRB. coming back from the first break. It's first quarter America. And Claire and I were just talking off air about the gloriness of Ben Tate, who recently landed here with my Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Mostly indifferent to him. You had some strong takes on him, though.
I'm not a fan. I think he's rude. I've just heard he has a bad attitude.
I don't think he's that good.
No, he's really not that good.
No, he's not.
What I said the other day was that he sure is surly for someone who's not that good.
No, but all right. So would you say that he was a better backup in Houston or Alfred Blue?
Alfred Blue.
Yeah.
Well, Alfred Blue seems to be a better backup. We haven't seen much of him, but Ben Tate just runs right into the pile and hopes to steamroll somebody, and he didn't really do it. Alfred Blue, while I don't think he's going to be, he's like a featured back, Andy. I know you want him to be. I don't think he's that guy, but he is a more than serviceable backup, in my opinion.
There you go. Speaking of which, LSU, these four guys left early. Odell Beckham Jr., Mettenberger, who's a pretty decent college quarterback, Alfred Blue, and Jeremy Hill all left LSU early, which is kind of awesome.
Well, it's in Louisiana.
It's a hell of an offense.
Well, that's true. Good point.
Speaking of there was a hell of a lot of snow landing on Buffalo NY as they got over 7 feet of snow due to something called lake effect. Apparently that's a thing. They're supposed to play the Jets there on Sunday, but that has been moved to the Detroit Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. And yeah, they've been kind of in good spirits. You know, they haven't been able to practice, but they're practicing, quote unquote, on their iPads. Marquise Goodwin took a picture of himself out in the snow shirtless, making snow angels. Boobie Gibson is Boobie being Boobie, chilling a bottle of Dom or whatever sort of Cristal, something like that in the snow. But the best story to come out of all this is Mario Good Guy Williams taking the Bobcat over and digging out Jim Kelly. That was an awesome story. That
was pretty cool. But also, I really like him, Kiko Alonso, who was doing his rehab in the snow. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Well, he's a big old dude.
Yeah, well, you obviously have ties to Mario Williams, right?
Oh.
Minor.
Maria, you mean?
Oh, come on.
I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. He's like Ben Tate to me. He just gives off that vibe.
Oh, come on. He was easily the best pick the Houston Texans could have made, as opposed to Reggie Bush or Vince Young in that draft.
Well, sure, he was, but it doesn't mean that I like his attitude. It's kind of like Jadeveon Clowney. I'm sure that he's a great player, but it doesn't mean you have to like him as a person.
Well, is Clowney a great player, though?
Well, he could be.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I'd rather.
And already, I think he was out of practice yesterday. Yeah, he didn't practice yesterday from what I read. So, that went over well.
Wow.
Anyway, so not about the Texans. I know I do that all the time. I'm sorry.
That's right. Now, back to Buffalo. They got a ton of snow. And interesting tidbit, I think it was Bill Polian pointed out that the reason that the Bill Stadium is in Orchard Park is because the land there is so cheap because it's part of the city that gets lake effect snow like that. Because it's kind of funny. Some places have 7 feet of snow, and then some parts of Buffalo or some suburbs of the city have like 4 inches.
Well, I mean, if you live in a place like Buffalo, wouldn't you want to use that to your home field advantage if you could? You guys are used to it. I mean,
they tried to play. The Bills were saying like, "Hey, we'll give you $10 an hour and free tickets to the game if you can come out and dig us out."
Right.
Except nobody can move anyways.
I don't know. I think that it was probably a great idea, in my opinion, to have the stadium there. And unfortunately, every now and then it might bite you in the butt, but. For the most part, if you can get lake effect snows during a game for, say, San Diego's in town for a playoff game. Sorry, a playoff game in Buffalo. But that would be definitely a home field advantage for you. So I would be willing to take that risk if I were a team owner in Buffalo.
Do you think they would ever call off the game due to heavy snow?
I don't know. Has it been done? I don't live in a snowy town.
No, like during the game, though. I know they just canceled this game, but like during the game, if it's, I mean, during some of the snowstorm, they were getting inches or even feet per hour.
Did you see the snow wall? There was a time-lapse video of the snow wall coming in. It was crazy.
It was.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, but I'm glad I really wasn't.
And see, you don't get this down in the dirt of South, but I actually don't mind cold weather being snowed in, which we're experiencing right now, because, you just stay in. Maybe you take off work or you work from home if you're capable of doing that, and then you just put your feet up, make some tea, have some chicken noodle soup, and it's not all that bad. I actually like the snow and the cold.
Well, if you get snow days out of it, it's awesome, I'm sure.
As opposed to Texas where you get dust days.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we got 7 inches of dust today. Looks like you ain't going to school there, Junior.
Have you ever been to Houston or Austin or Dallas?
But let's be honest. If the kid's 14, he's probably already out of school, right? With 2 kids.
Oh, my God.
Lumberjack. We're just playing up all the stereotypes.
It's awful.
Oh, come on. If you can't laugh at yourself, who are you going to laugh at?
I'm not laughing at myself.
Fine. Someone else who was not laughing, Emmanuel Sanders, who got knocked the F out last Sunday, diving for a deep Peyton Manning duck. Sanders stretched out and was very illegally hammered by Rodney McLeod right in the chest. Wikipedia listed him as dead, which was kind of funny.
Yes, I saw that.
He had a concussion. He's going through the protocol. Might be back on the field this Sunday as Denver takes on Miami. But it was one of those shots where that's definitely going to be on NFL films in the next couple of years to come. And legal shot again, but brutal. Rodney McLeod did everything right.
I mean, what are you going to do? You got to make the play, and as long as you're not doing anything that could be a penalty and hurt your team and the other player, drawing a flag, then you just make the best hit you can.
Now, see, in spots like this, I feel like the NFL should adopt the college rule where they can review these personal foul helmet-to-helmet stuff, because in college they can do that. And the NFL, McLeod did get a flag on the play, but video replay showed it was clearly he put it right in the middle of his chest, didn't leave with his helmet. It was legal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have that extra insurance to be sure that the right call is made at the same time. Just another layer of the penalty bureaucracy in the NFL. I can barely handle what currently exists. I'll be real honest.
But then again, if you get targeting in college, you are tossed out of the game.
Second one.
So DJ Swearinger would play about 16 snaps this year for the Texans.
Well, he's not illegally hit. He's not targeting.
Yeah, but Emmanuel Sanders did have a sense of humor about it. Even Wikipedia listing him as dead as he Instagrammed a photo of him partying with all the ladies. Even though, did you see the picture? There was like an old lady in a Broncos jersey off to the left, which is kind of funny.
I didn't notice that.
It was like a straight up grandma.
Oh, well, maybe grandma likes to party. Hello.
Yeah.
That's very ageist of you.
Emmanuel Sanders does not discriminate.
Good for him.
Speaking of discriminating, there was that jerk-ass Saints fan in the Bengals-Saints game. And, I'm actually glad the Bengals kicked the Saints' ass, because Jermaine Gresham scores the first quarter touchdown, is trying to toss the ball to a Bengals fan, pretty little lady in an A.J. Green jersey, and this old curmudgeon Saints fan boxes her out, almost elbows her in the face. Or did he? It was pretty much an elbow to the face. Grabs the ball, hangs on to the tight. Lady's begging for the ball, and he just like, no. And he got raked over the coals in the media this week, and rightfully so, because he's an ass.
Well, do you think he cared? He didn't seem like the type of person who really is affected by such opinions of him.
He probably doesn't even know what the internet is.
There you go.
Probably,
he's probably